Hello, friends. I'm coming to you from this beautiful property in Chestertown, Maryland, and I'm on vacation right now with my parents and my sister and her partner. We are enjoying some seriously spacious time in a really beautiful, lush area of the country that I've not explored very much before now. And it feels really appropriate that this month's theme is around how we replenish our energy and our sense of being alive that is so easy to lose touch with in our modern society, in a productivity obsessed and attention deprived culture. And it can feel so trite to even mention those aspects of modern living, and almost feel like an additional burden to think of adding in another self-care practice to the to-do list. But what I'm really suggesting with the exercises in this month's newsletter and the offerings, the invitations in this month's newsletter, is to release thinking of the exercise as the thing, or the practice, the way we practice as what's important, but rather thinking about how we can actually remember and reintegrate an approach to living that allows us the experience of spaciousness in everything that we do at any time, in relationship with others, as we regard ourselves, in relation to the work that it is that we do in the world, and simply as we move through our days on this planet. And as I outlined in the email, this comes down to 3 simple steps for me. Slow down, sense the breath, and widen the lens of awareness. So really, I'm just drawing from a lot of ancient practices. I'm drawing from mindfulness practice. I'm drawing from somatic experiencing and embodiment, because we're using kind of all the senses to just be present, be with what's going on. It doesn't mean that we necessarily have to change our to-do list. It doesn't necessarily mean that. It might mean that we look through our calendar and identify certain things that we want to take off the table, certain things that we practice saying no to, and that can be really challenging when we're in the habit of filling up all the free time on the calendar. But it also might not look like removing anything. It could look like shifting the approach, shifting the posture with which we move through our calendar days. So just briefly, I'd like to practice this sequence with you now. And we can practice this by starting to do a little gesture with our arms. So we'll put our arms out side to side. You can do this sitting or standing. And we're just going to start making some quick circles. I'm bouncing a little bit because I'm sitting on a lawn chair. But I want you to start making quick circles. And notice how the muscles have to tighten to actually get those circles to go. Wow, I just saw huge lightning in front of me. It is very stormy and cool out right now. So we're doing these tight little circles. And then the first thing I want to invite is for you to just slow those circles down. Just notice how that feels to slow the circles down, what that does for your whole system. And go fast again. Maybe the other direction. And slow the circles down. And you can play with tempo. You could go just a little slower, or you could go really, really slow. The next piece is to sense your breath. So you might have already begun to do this. As you slowed down, you might have just actually gotten in contact with your breath. But you can release that now. And just take a moment to observe your breath coming and going on its own, not feeling the need to shift or change it or deepen it, just observing it as it's naturally moving. And what this does is it helps us to remember that we have a body, to get in touch with what's happening inside, and also to sort of smooth out and regulate our frayed nervous system. Deep breathing teaches our nervous system that we're not in a state of danger, that we're actually able to loosen the grip a little bit, because it means that we're not bracing for impact. So when we breathe deeply, that actually teaches our body how to exist in not a totally lethargic state, but in what is called the rest and digest state. The ability to relate, the ability to move through the world without a defensive posture. So again, we're not necessarily manipulating the breath, we're just sensing the breath and watching how placing that awareness on the breath invites it to shift, and being curious about that. Letting that curiosity about what's going on for us in this moment with the breath to be the practice. And then the third step, which is so easy for me to do in the place that I'm sitting, and I'll show you my view in a second, as I'm hearing thunder and seeing lightning, and there's so much to see around me. But even if you're sitting in a dark room, even if you don't have an expansive view, I want you to just think of widening your lens of awareness. And what I mean by that is going from spotlight to floodlight. So thinking of when we get really focused on something or someone or ourselves, we tend to kind of clamp down and create a really narrow focus. And what this also does to our body is it puts us in a state of alertness, which signals that we have to be on and we have to be ready and we have to be in that braced posture. Ooh. And so what we're doing here is we're really softening, widening our awareness. And we can do that by using our eyes to kind of look side to side. But we can also do it just by sensing. So even without looking behind me, I can send my awareness back. And I know what's behind me. I've seen it before, but I'm just sending my awareness back through my back body and thinking about widening the lens in multiple directions. So in this way, I've given myself the opportunity to slow down, to take a moment, to kind of readjust my tempo, to sense my breath getting me in touch with myself, and then to open my awareness, linking that rooted attention and that awareness of self to everything that's happening around me. And what this does is it gives me a sense that I'm connected, not just to myself, but to everything around me. So I'm not fighting, and I'm not resisting, and I'm not defending. I am present, I'm grounded, but I'm also plugged in. I'm able to access the energy and the vitality of the trees and the rain and my feet making contact with the floor and my breath nourishing me. And it all becomes part of one whole experience. So I'm no longer separate. I'm no longer at war with my present reality. I am part of it. So I'm going to leave you there. And before I do, I just want to give you a little perspective on where I am and what I'm seeing. So we'll do a little 360 here. I have these beautiful trees. I'm looking out over this swimming pool, which let's see if it focuses. There we go. So this is my view. This is the inlet, the Chester River. Over here we've got some corn fields. It's corn. And then some beautiful trees on this side. And then here here's the house where we're staying. So I want to thank you. Oh gosh, do I have a bug? No. I want to thank you so much for practicing with me today, and I hope that was helpful. Please let me know how you intend to bring this just approach to living forward in your personal life, in your professional life, and do let me know how it's going for you, because it's something I intend to continue practicing. I haven't gotten it perfect, but it's something that I think we could all benefit from as we collectively work to reawaken our energy and aliveness together. So thank you so much for being a part of that with me, and for bringing that as a gift, really, to everyone that you encounter. I look forward to seeing you for next month's Embodied Everything issue. Take care.